of the Catholic University of America to escort the Honorable Edward Meyers, our commencement speaker, forward to the center of the sanctuary. I also invite Dean Payne to the podium to read the citation for Judge Meyers.
By word and deed, the Honorable Edward H. Meyers is widely recognized for his distinguished service to the nation, his commitment to the rule of law, and his principled example of public leadership, which includes service to his alma mater, the Catholic University of America Columbus School of Law. Judge Meyers was nominated to the United States Court of Federal Claims by President Donald J. Trump and confirmed by the United States Senate in 2020. Prior to his judicial service, he built a notable career in both private practice and government service, marked by legal acumen, intellectual rigor, and a deep sense of duty. He earned his undergraduate degree from Vanderbilt University and received his Juris Doctor summa cum laude from the Columbus School of Law at the Catholic University of America in 2005. As a law student, he demonstrated excellence in academic achievement, culminating in his receipt of the John L. Garvey Faculty Award, which is presented annually to the graduate with the highest academic average in the class. Following law school, Judge Meyers clerked for the Honorable Lauren A. Smith, the former Chief Judge of the United States Court of Federal Claims. He later practiced at Kirkland & Ellis and became a partner at Stein Mitchell, focusing on complex commercial litigation matters. Judge Meyers exemplifies the values at the heart of the Catholic legal education: integrity, service, respect for the dignity of every person, and a commitment to justice. Through his work on the bench, a court of national jurisdiction, he plays an indispensable role in upholding citizens' rights and ensuring government accountability, core pillars of a democratic society. As the law school sends forth a new generation of Catholic law graduates, it is honored to welcome back one of its own. Judge Meyers stands as a model of professional excellence, ethical leadership, and public service. In recognition of his significant contributions to the law and the legal profession, and for his steadfast support of this community, the Catholic University of America Columbus School of Law is honored to bestow the Presidential Medal upon the Honorable Edward H. Meyers. At this time, I invite Judge Meyers to the podium to address the class of 2025.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, President Kilpatrick, Provost Dominguez, and Dean Payne for the honor of the Presidential Medal. Thank you for the kind introduction, Dean Payne. Not bad for a kid who got in off the wait list. I also want to say thank you to all the faculty and staff here at the Columbus School of Law. Throughout my career, not just while I was in law school, these professors and the faculty, everybody, the staff here has been tremendous. Special thanks, Professor Brieger. I was his research assistant. He has been there for every life and career question that I've had. Professor Rutledge, I know he's not, he was so kind he did a reading at my wedding. I can assure you the lessons have carried with me. I joke my clerks think I'm sort of crazy because every time I have a tax case, I can only think of it in terms of a pickup truck thanks to Professor Jefferson and the pickup truck. And I can truly say that without you, I would not be where I am here today. So thank you again for everything you've done for me, for the class of 2025, for the class of 2005, and for the entire law school family. Graduates, forgive me if I appear a little bit nervous. I mean, it's been 20 years since I graduated, but I still have this unending fear that Professor Perez is about to call on me. And I'm not going to know the answer. Anyway, congratulations to the class of 2025. You made it. If your experience is anything like mine was, you got here through a tremendous amount of hard work, copious amounts of caffeine, and hours and hours and hours in the library. You all know what the library is, right? The thing with all the books, is that still there? But I'm pretty sure you didn't get here without the love and support of your family, your parents, your spouses, siblings, perhaps children, and the friends that have all gathered here to celebrate with you today. So if you could just join me in quickly saying thank you to those who have come here and helped you all along the way. Okay, class of 2025. I promise I am very well aware that I am the last thing standing between you and your degree. And I also know that people are here to celebrate you, not listen to me speak. When I started thinking about what to say, I started looking at old commencement addresses, and I have to say, then Judge Kavanaugh pretty aptly summarized the role of the commencement speaker. As only he could put it, the commencement speaker is a lot like the body in an Irish wake. You've got to be there for the party, but no one wants to hear you say too much. So I promise I'll be brief. True story, I did as I started thinking about what to say, I did try the modern thing. I sat with my clerks and we pulled up AI and said, what can we say for a commencement address? Little did I know that Grok has something called unhinged mode. And let me just assure you that that is not a speech I could deliver in a Catholic church. So this is not an AI-generated speech. It is an original. With that, I think what I want to do is pass on some things that I've learned here and over the years that I hope makes your journey a little bit easier. And I will apologize at the outset if what I say sounds a little bit familiar. But I think you'll see, like Forrest Gump, I have just been doing what the faculty was telling me to do all those years ago. And I'm confident they've been telling you the same thing. First and foremost, please cherish and nurture the relationships that you have with your classmates, your families, your friends, those that are here with you today, those that are watching online, or those that are here with us in spirit. As Dean Payne said, the practice of law can be demanding. You may be called away from your friends and your families. Back when I was in private practice, I can remember a reply brief that was due on January 2nd. Another year, I was on a trial team for a case that had opening arguments or opening statements on January 3rd. I spent the better half of 2010 commuting to Denver every week. There are times when you just must get the work done. But as soon as you file that brief, as soon as you close that deal, as soon as you meet that deadline, circle back to the friends and family, make up for the missed time. It's what's going to matter in the long run. I can't tell you a thing about the 10th summary judgment motion that I briefed and argued. I can't tell you who the client was, I can't tell you what the issue was, and I can't tell you about the outcome. But I can tell you about each of our sons' 10th birthdays. I can tell you about when my friends got married, when they had their children. I can tell you how their children are doing. And more recently, I've been to their children's weddings. Those are the things that are going to matter. Second thing I want to do is talk a little bit about what it is that lawyers do. Whether you're representing a client in a civil matter, defending someone in a criminal case, negotiating a transaction, helping somebody draft a will, you're guiding your client through a myriad of laws and regulations to help them reach their desired outcome. If your clients are anything like mine were, they want three things from you when they hire you. They want to win, and most importantly, they want to win. They generally adhere to the Coach Lombardi view that winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. But the legal system is simply not designed so that your client always wins. It is designed so that disputes are resolved in a just manner. Never lose sight, it's a just resolution that we're looking for. There will be times that you have a client who honestly sincerely and wholeheartedly believes in his or her case, and they will be completely wrong. You owe it to them to tell them. As Elihu Root put it, about half the practice of a decent lawyer is telling would-be clients that they are damn fools and should shut up. I will only add, if you have to do that, it's not easy. Please do it more tactfully than Mr. Root said you should. And also remember, in almost anything you do for a client, there's going to be somebody on the other side who hires a very smart person to disagree with you. The litigation process in particular requires that adversarial process in order to function. It doesn't mean you have to dislike your opposing counsel. You do not need to turn a courtroom into some kind of a steel cage match for smart people in fancy suits. The goal is to ascertain the truth about what happened so that the system can apply those facts to the law and come to a just resolution of a dispute. You will gain nothing by disliking your opposing counsel. And I have yet to see the swipe at an attorney help a client's cause. I am, however, an optimist and a history major, so I do want to recognize that although discourse today is not at the zenith of civility, it is far from the worst it has been. For one thing, lawyers aren't shooting each other anymore. That's not a joke. And if you don't believe me, Henry Clay, who history knows as the great compromiser, is known to have fought in 2 duels, nearly killing himself and somebody else. It got so bad that Kentucky's Constitution requires every new attorney licensed in Kentucky to swear or affirm to this very day, and I quote, that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help me God. You can look it up, it's Kentucky Constitution, chapter 228. So that's just to say, however far we have left to go and however far I hope you all carry the discourse forward, we have come a long way. The third thing I wanted to pass along is an awareness that people often come to you in some of their darkest hours. When I was in private practice, I represented huge companies, individuals, and pretty much everything in between. And I hope that whatever you do in the law, your work challenges you in the same way that those cases challenged me. But one of the cases that stuck with me the most over all these years was for a lady having a dispute with her landlord. Her apartment needed some repairs, and she couldn't get them done. She had been weakened by cancer treatment, and the conditions in her apartment were starting to make her fear for her health. Even though she couldn't afford to pay me, my firm let me take the case anyway. Thankfully, we were successful. Her apartment got repaired quickly, and she got back to the business of healing. That case won't go down in the annals of legal history as a big one, but it meant everything to her. This may sound obvious. I'm told that as a group, the students here have contributed over 14,000 pro bono hours. You've contributed to amicus briefs, represented clients through law school clinics. You've helped an elderly Afghan couple seeking asylum from the Taliban. Good work. Keep it up when you get busy. I'll leave you with a saying that one of my former partners had hanging on his wall. It read, "Go out into the world and do well, but more importantly, go out into the world and do good." And this brings me to the last thing I want to talk to you about. There are times when you will stumble on your journey. You may not get the job or the promotion that you want. When I was in law school, there was a law firm I really wanted to work for. I didn't get the job. It was tough. It was sort of a shook my confidence. But I was fortunate. I had a really good group of friends. One of them saw how upset I was and took the time to help figuratively smack a little sense back into me, get me back on the journey. Thank you, Allie Oswald. What happened next? A great judge did hire me. He's been a tremendous friend and a mentor for the last 20 years, and now I'm proud to call him a colleague. Then when I was a law clerk, started the cycle over, and there was a job I really wanted to get. This time I got it. And when I started at Kirkland & Ellis, I went to work for a tremendous lawyer who also has been a great mentor, friend, for a little while partner, for almost, for 19 years now. What's the punchline? I'm not sure where I'd be if I took that job I wanted in law school, but I'm very confident I'm better off now that I didn't get it. It's tough because this is only something you can see in retrospect. And since I can't put it better, I'll use Garth Brooks' line, which is, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. Your journey will be a long one, and you're going to have opportunities come up at the moment you least expect it. Don't say no just because it's not what you had planned. If you ask the graduates from the class of 2005, from my class, when we were sitting where you are, I'm very confident none would be able to tell you where we'd wind up today. And we're in some pretty good places in our lives and in our careers. But we weren't afraid to change course. For me, when I was in law school, my two favorite courses were criminal procedure and Professor Scordato's advanced torts class. And I wound up on a court with no criminal docket and no jurisdiction over tort claims. It all seemed to work out in the end. Finally, it may be hard in a social media world, but learn how to listen. 200 years ago, Chief Justice Marshall, a smart guy, he recognized that to listen well is as powerful a means of communication and influence as to talk well. Young lawyers, and quite candidly some not so young lawyers, often come into court or go into deposition with a plan and a script, and they forget to listen to what people are saying. And this isn't just for the law. Listen to people you disagree with. Listen. They may not change your mind, but they'll make your arguments better. So, much of what I said today, again, probably sounded familiar. That said, I'm under no illusion that any of you are going to remember this a few years from now. In fact, I'm very confident that more than a few of you won't remember this by the time we get to the reception. So I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. The university was very kind. It's easy. Whenever you need a reminder, come back to campus, go out in the field behind the law school, and look up. And the 3 sentences that are carved in stone in the building, what I've been trying to convey to you today: do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2025.